Hokies have just taken the field here at Bobby Dodd Stadium for the 15th all-time meeting between the Jackets and the Hokies. It is our ACC Network Mellow Mushroom Game of the Week, and it includes the Ramblin Wreck from Georgia Tech hosting the number 17 team in the country, the Virginia Tech Hokies, here in Atlanta, Georgia. It is so great to have you with us for our game this afternoon on the ACC Network. Tom Wormy, along with Dave Archer. DJ Shockley will join us in just a moment from the sidelines. Well, Dave, the most recent meetings between these teams have been ultra competitive, and the visitor has won the last 5 games between the two teams.
Yeah, and because of that, when you talk to the two coaching staff, tremendous amount of respect between them.
For Virginia Tech, the freshman quarterback has matured right before our eyes, Josh Jackson, and one of his most popular targets is number 5, Cam Phillips.
Josh Jackson, mature beyond his years. He's a coach's son. He's done an outstanding job of directing this offense. And how about the most prolific pass catcher in Virginia Tech history? These two will need to come up big today.
Jackson has 14 touchdown passes on the season. That's the most of any freshman in the nation. On the other side of the football, Taquon Marshall, he can really run it, Dave.
Yeah, and the game within the game is Bud Foster's defense against Paul Johnson's offense. And the ability to make you think you're going one way, come back the other. How about Taquon Marshall and the way he runs it? His patience of running the football, great speed once he breaks, and then blocking on the perimeter. If you're going to play in Paul Johnson's offense, you got to do that. 9 runs of 20-plus yards for Taquon Marshall, and he's got 2 70-yard touchdown runs. Shock, they got another guy can run the ball as well.
Yeah, they got a guy who's done really well. Been consistent. Converte Benson has been that guy for him. Been good on the downhill runs. Does really well in the dive action. He is a guy that's averaging 5.6 yards a carry. He has been a big-time player for him. 5 out of 8 games this season, over 120 yards, and he's 3rd in the ACC in rushing. Expect Converte Benson to be a huge part of what Georgia Tech does offensively.
Man, Shock, the only thing that's really plagued this offense this year is they've laid the ball on the ground. Benson's been responsible for 4 or 5 of those. They need to take care of the ball against a very opportunistic Virginia Tech defense.
Dave, Virginia Tech won the toss, elected to defer. Justin Fuente is the second-year head coach for the Hokies. Had him in the ACC championship game a season ago. He says the goal this year, try to get to 10 wins, which would mean they'd have to win out starting here against Paul Johnson and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, the 3-time coach of the year in the ACC. His team 4-4 on the season and 3-3 in conference play. They have not lost at home this year, Dave. Here at Bobby Dodd Stadium, they are 4-0 and coming off a loss last week on the road at Virginia.
And Tom, they have won 7 straight here, and that's one of the goals that this team still has in their sights. They want to be undefeated here at home.
Jarrett, the deep man for Georgia Tech. Slide puts it in the air. And about 4 yards deep, and they're going to stay there. Well, here are the Georgia Tech impact players, and it's brought to you by Food Line.
Ricky June, big player on the outside, averaging 19 yards a catch. Look for him to take a big shot or create a big shot on the outside. And Quay Searcy, he's been the guy that's been the most consistent at that A-back spot. If you haven't seen Georgia Tech play, they have 2 wingbacks. They call them the A-backs. He has been the guy that's been the most prolific, 7.2 yards a carry. Look for number 1 to make a play.
Benson leads him with 6 rushing touchdowns on the season, but Marshall is the leading rusher, averaging almost 109 yards per game on the ground for Marshall. Wants to put it in the air on the first play. Deep ball. June laying out, and it's off the fingertips.
Boy, had what they wanted, Tom. An opportunity for a big play to start off. Fake the toss play. Excellent throw down the middle. Just a little bit too much now. The wind has been disruptive here in pregame. Might have affected that throw as he had to put a little air underneath it, and June could not track it down.
10-mile-an-hour breeze coming out of the east, Dave, which is kind of to the top left of your screen as the Jackets move the ball. Shagad forces Marshall out of bounds.
That's 71 tackles for loss this defense. Where's Parker Braun, number 75, gets knocked off. He's pulling, knocked into Marshall. Now Marshall has to try to create something out of nothing. Shagad, the outside linebacker, right there. So excellent penetration for Virginia Tech there. When you pull, whenever you see an offensive lineman pull, the defense wants to penetrate right now. Virginia Tech got that done.
They lost 5 on that previous play, but they are the best in the conference on 3rd down conversions, 45%. This play blasted in the backfield by have Virginia Tech, and it's 4th down. Tremaine Edmonds wearing the number 25, honoring Frank Beamer, making the play.
This is a defense in the front 7 that's extremely aggressive. The linebackers will be in the backfield. Good penetration again. Now it sets it up for Tremaine Edmonds. You talked about how big a day he had last week. Starts off with a tackle for loss. Team trusting his eyes, reading, trying to track down one of the most elusive players in college football in Marshall.
Greg Stroman has 2 punt returns for touchdowns this season. Tries to field it at the 39. Ball on the turf. Who's got it? Virginia Tech has it. They have covered after the punt of 44 yards. So Stroman with some difficulties on the punt return. There is none, and there is no score. The bustling Georgia Tech campus welcoming the players to Bobby Dodd Stadium. 26,000 students strong, and some of them here supporting their Jackets today.
Well, Josh Jackson coming off a tough performance against Miami a week ago. Redshirt freshman, wise beyond his years. See how he bounces back.
McMillan gets the carry on 1st down, spins out of a tackle, and up to the 44-yard line. Virginia Tech on offense. Their Impact Players Day brought to you by Food Line.
The freshman Sean Vazoy has stepped up. You see 9.4 yards per touch. He's really been a pleasant surprise, really forced to play because of injury. The freshman playing well, and Tavon McMillan, one of those guys that will carry the football.
Savoy, 1st down and more into Georgia Tech territory, marked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. He got 11 as Gray forced him out.
Part of what Savoy has brought to the table is the ability to run the jet sweep. He's done an outstanding job of catching the football. He's a second leading receiver, but also doing a nice job with some of their auxiliary run plays. That one right there in particular.
Yeah, he's got the most receiving yards by a freshman at Virginia Tech since 1987. 427 receiving yards. Up the middle with McMillan. Got 3 yards. Georgia Tech, their impact players on defense. It's brought to you by Food Line.
And Tom, it's a defense has played pretty well. Victor Alexander has played well in particular. Last week had 11 tackles against Virginia. And then Corey Griffin is a guy that's a thumper in the back end. He'll need to play well, too, to facilitate against this run game with the zone read.
Saw Victor Alexander, number 9 in white, leading tackler on this team with 48 on the season and a sack for Alexander. There's an open man off to the left for Jackson. It's McMillan dancing his way inside the 30. Trayvon McMillan, the junior, for 17 yards.
Alexander overruns the play here, Tom. He's got the sideline as an extra defender, but he doesn't use it. He's going to overrun it to the outside, allow McMillan to get back to the inside, and that's where the big yardage is. He's got to leverage the tackler using the sideline and get him out of bounds, but didn't do it there. A nice play for Virginia Tech. They push it down inside the 25-yard line.
Bush. It's A.J. Bush for 3 yards.
6'4", 226-pound redshirt junior college transfer. Steps in there to run the football. It's not something, Tom, they've done a ton with Josh Jackson. Now, he ran more last week against Miami, but that might have been a little bit more out of necessity because of that really good front down there. They'd like to try to minimize the damage on their freshman quarterback. He's been really good this year.
14th carry of the season for A.J. Bush, the backup quarterback from right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Now Jackson has come back into the game for Virginia Tech. Give it to Holston. Immediately met. Brant Mitchell, number 51, and a loss of 1 yard.
Well, that's music to the ears for Virginia Tech fans, or for Georgia Tech fans. Brant Mitchell's been banged up all year long. He's been the defensive leader of this team for a couple of years. Nice read there on the dog by the linebackers for the linebacker spot to get through and make the play. He had 10 tackles against Virginia Tech in their win a year ago.
3rd and 8 for the Hokies. Jackson with some touch on it inside the 10. The pass is incomplete, looking for Eric Puma.
Trying to isolate Kuma, 6'2", 220 on the outside against Durham, who's 5'11", and a pretty good job by Step Durham. Little hand fighting there, made it tough for Kuma to get up the field, and a good stop for Georgia Tech here after it looked like Virginia Tech was rolling.
Joey Sly from 41 yards to try to put some points on the board for the Hokies. 77 career field goals, the most in school history. And Sly able to add to the total from 41 yards away. It's Joey Sly, the senior from Stafford, Virginia. 3-0 here in Atlanta on the ACC Network. Back on the ACC Network, now time for our Carolina Ford Keys to the Game with Dave Archer.
Well, for Virginia Tech, primetime game a week ago, didn't go the way they wanted it to. You got to leave Miami behind. Don't let the Canes beat you again today. I think Virginia Tech should be able to get that done. And for Georgia Tech, this is a team that should really probably be sitting here 7-1. They're not. They're 4-4 because they've allowed games to get away from them at the end. They need to finish every play, but finish the game the way they started.
This is Jarrett on the return near his own goal line. Amari Jarrett up to the 20 and taken down after the return. Georgia Tech, the top rushing attack in the ACC. Virginia Tech defends the run the best in the conference as Benson has a modest gain of 2 yards on that carry.
Yeah, and they'll need Walker and Settle to play well if they can let their linebackers run time. This is the tough part of this task is can you get the B-back or the fullback taken care of? Excellent job by Walker to avoid the block and to be able to slip inside and make the tackle for a minimal gain.
The junior from Hampton, Virginia. 2.5 sacks on the season and a fumble recovery. This is Cottrell up the sideline. Nathan Cottrell stays on his feet to the 15.
Well, Cottrell's going to come around the right side, and it's just one of those deals where you feel like you're flowing the right way with the Georgia Tech offense, and all of a sudden, here comes something out of the backside. He was lined up as the left A-back. It's just simply a reverse to the backside. Paul Johnson saw that Virginia Tech was using the athleticism to flow down the line of scrimmage, and he uses it against a big play, Georgia Tech.
69 yards on the play to take it down inside the 15. Into the red zone for the Jackets. They will be stopped cold by Trayvon Hill. On the run by Benson.
When you look at this Virginia Tech defense and how they get after you, that's just a nice job of winning at the line of scrimmage. Virginia Tech's defensive group, good against the run, and it doesn't get any better than what Paul Johnson's group does running the football. So two of the best in the business at either running it or stopping the run going head-to-head here today.
Third in the country. Rushing attack for Georgia Tech. 2nd and 9 for the Yellow Jackets. Marshall kept it at the 10. Thrown down by Andrew Motuapoaka. Gain of 3.
And really well played by Greg Stroman. Stroman's the corner. He's going to string the play out. Watch number 3, Stroman. He's going to kind of string the play out. He's got the pitch guys. He no place for Taquon Marshall to pitch the ball. And Motuapoaka flowing for the inside takes care of the quarterback. But this is where Georgia Tech likes to live in this third medium because they're a team that will go for it on 4th down if you get close enough.
Bud Foster, longtime defensive coordinator for the Hokies. On 3rd and 6. Benson is the first man through. Benson down to the 4. Very close to first down yardage for Benson. He got 7. It is a first down. 1st and goal, Georgia Tech.
Boy, nice job up front there, everybody. Get around the legs of Tim Settle, number 4. Get him on the ground. And you get a big body like that on the ground, Tom. He essentially blocks things for other defenders to try to flow and make a play. So nice crease in there. And then Cavante Benson running hard. Shock told you about how good he's been this year. 5 100-yard games on the year.
From the 4. 1st and goal. Motuapoaka stopping Searcy. And Marshall had nowhere to go.
Taquon Marshall, this is what they call the follow play. He's just going to follow Jackson in the hole, but Motua Pawaka knows that's one of their favorite plays. He and Terrell Edmonds are right there to make the stop. You've got to stop the B-back, then you have to stop the follow play, meaning it's almost like an I-formation ISO play where you get a lead blocker and a tailback in between. And then, oh, by the way, you got to stop the pitch play. So a lot going on in this Georgia Tech offense.
Last play was a loss of 2, 2nd and goal. Misdirection. J.J. Green couldn't get around the corner. Taken out of bounds. Tremaine Edmonds wearing that 25 today. Normally, number 49 made the play.
Edmonds right here. He's going to flow down the line of scrimmage. Does not get fooled with the misdirection this time. Remember, this is the same play. Petrell came around the edge and had the big run. This time, it's played extremely well by that guy right there. Father was an NFL player, great tight end, Pro Bowl tight end, and boy, the brothers have been really good. Three different brothers, 2 of them in the game today. Terrell and Tremaine playing on this defense.
Best on 3rd down in the conference, 3rd and goal for the Yellow Jackets. Marshall has it, fake the pitch, and he's into the end zone. A 3-yard touchdown run, Taquon Marshall.
This time, the interior defender that's got quarterback doesn't get to the outside. 2 really good blocks on the perimeter that time. Left Stroman one-on-one. Stroman, normally in charge of the pitch, had to play both players. And Marshall understood that little fake pitch, ducked to the inside, and he's got his 15th rushing touchdown on the year.
And those are the most rushing TDs of any player in the ACC. Brenton King with the extra point. Georgia Tech marches it down the field. Marshall finishes it. And we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. Now just a few weeks away, December 2nd in Charlotte, North Carolina. Georgia Tech taking it down the field 80 yards. Marshall finishes it with his 15th rushing touchdown of the season. McMillan from the 2. Oh! 1st and 10 for Virginia Tech. Just over 5 minutes to go in our first quarter. Jackson's pass is complete to Cam Phillips.
I talked about Cam Phillips, the top pass catcher in Virginia Tech history. He's a guy that has all the skills. Excellent route runner. You see there the quick out. He has excellent hands. He's a guy that understands the game. Tough as nails. Love Cam Phillips.
7 yards on that catch. 37 straight games with a reception for Phillips, a school record. McMillan cannot gain the 25.
Brant Mitchell again, and this has been such a key story really for Virginia Tech. Brant Mitchell was really a game-time decision, number 51, the middle backer, and he's made 2 big plays in the backfield already.
Third and 3, Virginia Tech. Jackson just got it away and complete. Kuma up to the 40. Aaron Kuma makes the catch for 14 yards. A.J. Gray the tackle.
Yeah, he got a stack to the left side, takes a big hit at the back end. They brought more than Virginia Tech could block, but the young quarterback hangs in and hits Kuma on the slant route. All he did there, Tom, was spread them out, look for the one-on-one matchup. He had Kuma coming to the inside to his right. He knew he was going to take a shot, stood in there, big-time throw.
They'll hand it off. McLeese. That'll be the last play of the quarter after a 2-yard gain from McLeese. Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. And the Jackets leading the Hokies 7-3 after 1 in Atlanta. With Georgia Tech up 7-3, our first quarter stats are brought to you by Excedrin.
Tom, look at how the defenses are playing. Look at this yardage on first down. Both defenses playing extremely well in that first down situation and putting teams in a bind on third down.
Taquon Marshall has the touchdown run, his 15th of the season. That the score for Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech with the football. 2nd and 8 as we start the second quarter. Jackson has a man McMillan inside the 20 and down to the 16. Trayvon McMillan on the catch.
Now, so often you forget the faking back when you've got play action. But McMillan just going to slip out and run the wheel down the sideline. He just an angle route, and Victor Alexander, number 9, was locked in coverage on him and just allowed him to get up the field without any kind of jam. Good read by the young quarterback.
27 yards on the play. Bush has come in. He hands it off. McMillan. He'll drag a couple of white shirts inside the 10 on the run by Trayvon McMillan.
Shock, when you talk about short change in a quick change situation like that on the punt, what's a quarterback's mindset now with a short field?
Well, with a short field, you have to get points. You got to capitalize on it. If you're Virginia Tech, you know you're playing against a defense or an offense like Georgia Tech where the series are limited. You got to make sure every series counts.
Shock. Jackson wants the end zone. It's too far for Cam Phillips. Durham also back there.
And Shock brings up a great point right there in the fact that you're only going to get so many times. If Georgia Tech's operating offensively, you're only going to get so many shots with the football. You have to take advantage. That's a great point by DJ Shockley. Must cash this in a short field.
1 for 3 on 3rd down for Virginia Tech. That first down marker is at the 6. 3rd and 2. Red zone for the Hokies. 9th in the conference.
Yeah, not good. It's not been good down here. They've not cashed in their opportunities.
McMillan tripped up. It's going to be 4th down. Tackle by Lawrence Austin.
Lawrence Austin is a guy that plays all over the field. He's their nickel back, plays safety, does an excellent job here of knifing in and making a play in the run game.
Hokies lead the offense on the field with A.J. Bush, number 6.
Yeah, and I think you're willing, if you're Georgia Tech, to man up on the outside. Bush is a guy that only has 11 attempts on the year. You're thinking run right here.
Bush reversing field. Fenced in and stopped. Stopped on 4th down by the Georgia Tech defense. Brandon Adams, A.J. Gray combined on the tackle.
And I think Virginia Tech actually got away with a motion. But hey, you know what? Ted Roo's defense was answering the call. Jackets everywhere.
The statue of Bobby Dodd, for whom this stadium was named back in 1988. Head coach from 1945 to 1966. Dave, how about this? In the early 50s, a 31-game unbeaten streak for Coach Dodd.
He really had it going here.
Lynch. Past the 35 and a first down. Clinton Lynch. Reynolds made the tackle.
Boy, it's been tough sledding this year for Clinton Lynch. He's got a marked man. He had a great year a year ago, averaging almost 17 yards a touch. But he's been limited this year. Some he's been banged up. This time he gets clean. He's a big play guy waiting to happen. Clinton Lynch, number 22.
His first carry of the game, Dave, goes for 16 yards and a first down. Out to the 37-yard line. Just the 21st carry of the season for Lynch. This is Benson. Batters his way up close to the 45-yard line. He got 8. Cravante Benson, the sophomore from Marietta, Georgia.
Yeah, Cravante Benson has been really a breath of fresh air. They had a suspension at the position early in the year. Really weren't sure they were going to hand the football to, and Benson's really stepped up, Shot. We'll get back to DJ after this play.
2nd and short for Georgia Tech from its own 45. They tried to give it to Benson, first man through. Roadblock at the 45 and down to DJ Shockley.
When I talked to Cravante Benson earlier in the week, I said, what's it like to play B-back? He said, you never know when you're going to get the ball. You have to be self-disciplined and run the right track and expect the ball every single time. But he said the thing he tries to do is be very special when he doesn't have the football to carry out his fake, so everything looks the same for this offense. And like you mentioned, Archie, he's done a great job of toting the rock this season.
Over 3,600 yards, just 2 years of high school football. Started playing when he was a junior. Pretty good player.
2 for 5 on 3rd down. They swing it out to J.J. Green. Maybe a yard. yard. Going to be short of that first down line to gain.
I don't think Paul Johnson will hesitate offensively to go for this. This is a wide toss play and really well defended by Virginia Tech. Tremaine Edmonds is the guy that makes the play. I don't think there's a team in the country that runs the wide toss play better than Georgia Tech does, and that's as good as you can defend it. This is not a surprise. This is a 4-down. I don't think there's a team in the country that runs the wide toss play better than Georgia Tech does, and that's as good as you can defend it.
Georgia Tech faked it, and they got it. Freeman.
The defensive end, Keyshawn Freeman, is the guy that's going to carry the football here, and this is against a punt-safe situation, meaning Virginia Tech kept their defense on the field, and Georgia Tech with their punt unit still got the first down. You talk about a slap in the face now. Virginia Tech tried to defend against the fake with their defense and couldn't get the stop.
Keyshawn Freeman. Benson, second level, 30-yard line. Kervonte Benson. Reynolds with the tackle, 21 yards on the play.
Yeah, this is that little play, backside trap play, gonna option to the field, but the fake or the foot, the give to the B-back is on the backside of the play. And as a defender, you start to flow with the quarterback, and you get caught with Benson coming downhill at you.
How about when we saw Benson earlier this season against Pittsburgh, Dave, in late September? 29 carries, 196 yards, career highs for Benson against the Panthers. Misdirection. Cottrell bounced out of bounds at the 22 by Edmonds.
Left guard right here, watch the block. There's the trap play right there. You get settled to come up the field, trapping, push him up the field. That means you influence blocking, make it look like he's going to be blocked on the front side, let him step up the field, and then somebody comes from the backside and traps him outside. And Benson is the benefactor running the football.
Benson got 21 of those 46 yards on that previous play that Arch just described. Now second and short. 8th play of the drive for Georgia Tech, leading 7-3. Searcy inside the 20. He was cut off, though, by Terrell Edmonds.
Tom, nobody does this play better than Georgia Tech does, because when they pitch the ball, they've already outflanked you. Look where Searcy catches the ball. He's already outside the defense. You get a little bit of a block on the outside, and then Searcy has the first down. But I just think for Georgia Tech, with everything they do with the B-back running to the inside and the quarterback follow, and then all of a sudden you get this wide toss play, they are so hard to defend.
First down at the 16-yard line for Georgia Tech. Benson. Shagag on the tackle after a 3-yard gain from Benson.
And this is the pace they want to play at, Tom. This game being played at Georgia Tech's pace. You see Marshall runs over to the sideline and talks with Paul Johnson and give their offensive line to breathe here. Shock really kind of playing the way Georgia Tech wants to play right now.
Yeah, they are. Kervonte Benson told me, I said, how is it so hard to prepare for this team? He said, well, it's the speed we play with. And Tim Settles, they use Khalil Pimbleton, who plays receiver. He was Taquon Marshall this week in practice for Virginia Tech. But he said the speed is so hard to account for, especially in practice, the way they play it.
Marshall inside the 10, cuts at the 5, and he's down just short of the goal line at the 1. Shagag with the tackle, 12 yards for Marshall. First and goal, Georgia Tech.
Just a lead option. Look at the blockers out in front. Benson, one of those blockers. Get a block for Cottrell, and the pitch back is Lynch, but Marshall keeps it all the way. See the block on the free safety, Edmonds right there, and right to the brink is Taquon Marshall. Now, this is where they like the B-back or the follow play with the quarterback, where he follows the B-back in the hole.
Marshall already has a touchdown run in the first quarter from 3 yards out, and this time he will take it in from a yard away. Marshall with his second rushing touchdown, 13-3 Jackets.
How about a quick quarterback sneak right through the middle? 16 rushing touchdowns for Taquon quick get off, straight ahead. Marshall finds the crease, then puts it in the end zone. Impressive drive for Georgia Tech. Fake the punt, extend the drive time, and you push it down the field and put points on the board.
We'll be back after these messages from the Atlantic Coast Conference. 14-3 is the lead for Georgia Tech. Our drive summary brought to you by Lending Tree. When banks compete, Dave, you win.
Well, in that scoring drive, the 11 plays, 79 yards. One of those plays was go for it on fourth down, a little fake punt, well designed. Keishan Freeman gets the first down, and right after that, Cavante Vincent rips off a big run, and Georgia Tech pushes it down the field and scores.
McMillan from the 1. Head of steam at the 20. McMillan out to the 40. Cuts back. And McMillan dragged down near the 30-yard line. Lawrence Austin had to drag him down. McMillan with that return of 64 yards.
Came in averaging 26 yards of return. Missed tackle there by Georgia Tech. A kind of an arm swipe there. Really a good job by the kicker to just kind of keep the kind of slow playing, but just excellent return by McMillan, the leading rusher for Virginia Tech on the year, and a big play when they really needed one. A shot in the arm for their special teams.
Big return from McMillan. Exactly 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. From the 29 of Georgia Tech, Jackson lets it go toward the end zone. Incomplete, looking for Phillips, and a flag is out. Lance Austin was defending for the Yellow Jackets.
Pass interference, defense, number 17, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Lance Austin one-on-one with Cam Phillips, the all-time leader in receptions in Virginia Tech history. Put him up the bat. Boy, hard to see anything wrong with the way he got his arm on his shoulder, I guess, maybe. Didn't see him move the body at all. He did place his arm on the shoulder of Cam Phillips. Boy, didn't see a lot there to create a penalty.
Lance and his twin brother Lawrence, part of this defensive unit for Georgia Tech. This is Savoy at the 10. Savoy back to the middle of the field. Savoy to the goal line, and he scores. Sean Savoy for Virginia Tech.
Well, you're not going to see a better run than what Sean Savoy puts together here, the freshman. Look, McMillan, number 34, going to get out in front and block. He's blocking on Steph Durham, but then the cutback by Savoy. And hey, this is just a guy trying to make a play. Boy, an excellent job. 34 gets out in front. McMillan, the guy that had the kickoff return, gets a good block initially, but then it's just like it found a little picket line on the cutback, and Savoy scores. Came in averaging 9.4 yards a touch.
Virginia Tech will go for the two-point conversion. Jackson to the end zone. A lot of hand fighting there between Austin and Phillips, but the play is clean.
Yeah, frankly, I thought there was more you could have penalized potentially on that play than the play before against Austin. I thought he held on to his arm right there. I'm a little surprised.
As advertised, another close one between Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech as the teams go to the locker room with the Yellow Jackets up 14-9 on the strength of 2 rushing touchdowns from Taquon Marshall down to DJ Shockley.
Coach, how impressed are you with your defense? You got the big stop here in the second quarter. Your defense got you holding in it. How impressed are you with them?
Yeah, we're playing well defensively. I mean, we're staying in the game. Offensively, we missed a couple of open shots and play action that hurt us. But we're okay. We get the ball first, start the second half. We need to mount a drive.
All right, Coach, have a good second half. Competitive first half here. Georgia Tech on top should be interesting in the second half, Katie. Take it away.
Georgia Tech with that 14-9 halftime lead on the strength of a couple of rushing touchdowns from Taquon Marshall, the junior quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. Tom and Dave with you before we kick it off in the third quarter. And Dave, an exceptional first half of football between the Jackets and the Hokies.
Yeah, kind of what we expected. Just a classic battle between these two teams. You talked about how closely these two teams have played. We're getting it again.
Let's take a look at some of the action from the first half. Nathan Cottrell got it started for Georgia Tech with a big 69-yard run.
Yeah, a play that was not scouted, obviously, by Virginia Tech. A little wrinkle that Paul Johnson put in. Cottrell down the sideline, had a big run to set up this run by Taquon Marshall. A little fake on the pitch, duck to the inside, and punch it in the end zone. Then it's the fake punt. An 11-play drive that this spurred it on. Keyshawn Freeman keeps it. Led to this. Marshall punches it in from 1 yard out. And it was 14-3 at that time. But back came Virginia Tech. Sean Savoy, the fabulous freshman, weaves his way. He goes schoolyard on you and finds a way to punch it in the end zone for the Hokies. Failed on the two-point conversion, and it's 14-9.
It's now time for our halftime stats, Dave, and they're brought to you by Dish.
Yeah, and there's not a lot going on stat-wise. I think that when you look at the two red zone opportunities for Georgia Tech, they punch it in. Virginia Tech failed on one. That's really the difference in the game right now. Start talking about what's going to happen in the second half. Let's go down to DJ with Coach Fuente.
All right, Coach, 1 for 6 on third down offensively. What do you got to do to sustain some drives here?
Well, I think collectively we have to play better. I mean, we get a guy open, but we don't protect very well, or we just got to go win our one-on-one battles and execute, and we're getting looks that we like and that we've practiced. We just got to execute.
Defensively, they hit some runs on you. What do you message to your defense in the second half to slow them down and stop those big runs?
Well, we just got to keep grinding away. You know, I mean, it's going to be an all-day sucker, and we just got to keep playing the next play and find a way to pull it out at the end.
All right, Coach, have a good second half. Big second half away. Can Georgia Tech continue the streak of big wins here in the second half?
Well, and you hear Coach Fuente talk about it's an all-day fight when you play Georgia Tech offensively, because there are going to be some unscouted looks. We talk about that little reverse play. He knows that they're going to have to get back in the trenches, and they wore you down. So you got to find a way to hang in there. And his offense needs to come up with some plays, Tom. They have not made any explosives on offense.
DJ Shockley talked about the winning streak for Georgia Tech as Virginia Tech will get the second half kickoff. Yellow Jackets have won 7 in a row at home, the most since 2009, and that streak was also 7 wins in a row.
Good to see McMillan back in the game.
McMillan, the return for the Hokies, twisting his way up to the 20, 1st and 10 Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech with a field goal and then the late touchdown by Savoy on a 14-yard run. Jackson has to retreat. He's taken down inside the 5. Victor Alexander on the sack for Georgia Tech.
Play took a long time to develop, Tom. We're going to fake the ghost. Alexander's right here in the middle. He's going to come free. But you fake, you hold the ball. Alexander just going to now close and make the play on the freshman quarterback. But a play that took a long time to develop, hoping for a shot down the field. Georgia Tech was on the coverage, made Jackson hold the football.
A loss of 12 and the first sack of the game for Georgia Tech. 3rd of the season. Alexander, that pass too high for the intended receiver, Eric Kuma.
Alexander going to come again, Tom, on a delayed blitz. Number 9 going to circle right around and get the big hit on the quarterback. Jackson could feel him coming. He had to get the ball out before he wanted to. Airmail to throw. What an opening sequence here for the Jackets on defense.
Savoy, one of 5 receivers in this set for Jackson.
Now, Tech will play a deep zone here and make him throw the ball underneath.
Kuma to the 10 and no further. 4th down, Hokies.
Well, Tom, coaches talk about the first 4 minutes of each half kind of setting the tempo for the game for that part of the half. Georgia Tech's defense has answered that call. 3 and out, and now Georgia Tech's offense is going to get a short field potential opportunity.
Oscar Bradburn 4 yards deep in his own end zone to kick it to Brad Stewart. Wants the fair catch and makes it at his own 48. 42 yards on the punt. Georgia Tech on offense when we come back. Founded in 1888, Georgia Tech, our hosts this week on the ACC Network and Raycom Sports. Taquon Marshall, a couple of rushing TDs, all of the yards accumulated in the first half for Georgia Tech on the ground.
Yeah, they found a way to push the ball down the field a couple of times, and they got a short field opportunity here, Tom.
Best starting field position of the game for the Yellow Jackets from their own 48-yard line. Benson lost one. Anthony Shagag on the tackle.
That's a defense that's made it tough on opposition for a long time.
Dave, let's take a look at our Haviland defensive shield.
Virginia Tech 39-3 when it allows teams to score 21 points or less than 21 points since joining the ACC. They got to hang onto the rope right here to try to prevent Georgia Tech from putting that number on the board.
Second down, trouble for Benson. Another loss to his own 47-yard loss. Ricky Walker on the tackle.
Penetration is what we've talked about all week long, or certainly all day long, and Shock exactly what they've done on the first two plays of the game here in the second half.
Guys, the defensive ends have to hold the edge at the point of attack and be really special. One thing to watch is look how far Andrew Tua Parker plays. He plays it 6 yards deep just to get some clean leverage to see where the ball is.
Marshall, deep center of the field. He's got Stewart in stride. Brad Stewart to the end zone. It's a touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
They hit you with the run game, and then they take the shot. Marshall does a really good job of putting air under the ball, letting Stewart run and get it, but nobody in the same zip code as Brad Stewart, and the Jackets score through the air. Little bit of a surprise there too, Tom. Third and long. How you let someone get in behind you on third and long. Big mistake by Virginia Tech in the back end.
60 yards on the pass play for Georgia Tech. Their first completed pass of the day results in a touchdown. First touchdown of the season for Brad Stewart, the junior from Savannah, Georgia. 60 yards from Taquon Marshall, his 7th passing touchdown of the year. Stewart was wide open down the middle of the field, ran under it. First completed pass of the game for Georgia Tech, and they're in the house.
That's the way it goes with this offense, where they go take shots.
McMillan straddles his 2. Flag came out at the end of the play. He got to the 19. Simmons made the tackle on kick coverage.
All right, let's take a look at this play. Stewart's right here. He's going to run the post. I'm not sure why Edmonds widened so much. There's nothing that takes him out of the middle of the field. He just gets too wide, and Stewart just runs inside him on the post route. He doesn't have any help on the backside. And I think Terrell Edmonds got a little bit fooled as to what they were doing right there. But what a nice job by Taquon Marshall. And really, it's just a 2-man route. You've got the back and the flat, and you got the post. They took advantage of the opportunity.
There was a penalty on the return against the Hokies. Illegal block below the waist, so they spot the ball at the 8 for Virginia Tech. Holston is the back. Offset to the right of Jackson. Quick pass completes Savoy. Taken down just beyond the 21. Victor Alexander made the stop. 15 yards. First down Savoy.
Savoy did a nice job. He's going to offset to the inside. First guy to the inside, and see just offset of Lawrence to the inside, and a good read and a good quick throw from Jackson.
This time they'll run it with Holston. He's going to drag that pile. up beyond the 25-yard line. 4 hard-earned yards from Holston.
Now, this is not strange territory for Virginia or for Georgia Tech. They've gone into a lot of games in the second half where they've established a 2-score lead and have had a tough time hanging on to it. Let's see if there's a sense of urgency from their defense to try to finish a game.
Jackson 7 of 17 through the air and 82 yards. Congested pocket, and he's going down at the 20.
Well, Ted Roof's defense has been bringing pressure most of the day. They found that they can get home, and they have stayed with it. Grant Mitchell, the linebacker, coming 51. He's going to get on the play. And you can see that this Hokie offense is starting to it's starting to get under their skin a little bit, starting to bother them. 3rd and long again for the Hokies.
Dave, just 1 of 8 on the afternoon in 3rd down conversions for Virginia Tech. Presented with that situation again on 3rd and 14. Pockets collapsing. Jackson has to throw it up for grabs. Bouncing around and caught by Virginia Tech. And Kuma off the deflection up to the 48.
You want the interception, but knock the ball down. Don't volleyball it in the air if you're Georgia Tech. What a play by Kuma to stay alive. This is a horrible decision by Josh Jackson to throw it up, but when you volleyball it up in the air, Kuma will take it. Thank you very much. And Virginia Tech's got new life.
3rd catch of the game for Kuma. That went for 26 yards off the bouncing football. McMillan has come back in. This is A.J. Bush, the backup quarterback, who has seen action in this game. He got 3.
You talk about a nightmare for Georgia Tech fans when you start talking about the ball bouncing off somebody's head, which is what it does here. Bounces off the head of A.J. Gray. Kuma makes the catch. All you got to do is go back a couple weeks ago in a 4th down play where Miami extended the game because of a ball that bounced off a Virginia Tech player, and they made a play late to win the football game.
Josh Jackson, an onlooker right now, Dave.
Yeah, he took a big shot on the first play of this series from A.J. Gray. Now, he looks like he's okay, but Bush obviously in the game. He's more the runner, big body guy, 6'4", 225, 230. He's running the show right now. Now, he's only thrown the ball 11 times on the year. If I'm Georgia Tech, I'm manning up on the outside, and I'm thinking run.
3rd and 3. Bush, 1st down Virginia Tech as he backs his way to the 36 or 7-yard line. 9 yards on the run from A.J. Bush, the junior from right here in Atlanta.
And just the zone read, fake the sweep play, coming downhill with the big quarterback. Josh Jackson checks back in after after they get the 1st down.
Jackson returns for the Hokies. 2nd time in this drive they've converted on 3rd down. McMillan bouncing off of a couple of players and down to the 32 and 5 yards. Trayvon McMillan.
Gets up limping and yielding. Now Holston's going to check in the freshman at running back.
Don't forget next Saturday. All the action gets started at noon with the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks and Katie Witham, Tommy Bowden, Stan Mofley. That's going to be another 1st down at the 25-yard line. 7 yards on the play for Virginia Tech.
Tech playing with a little bit more tempo here. When I'm talking about Virginia Tech playing a little more tempo, Tom, and it's not allowed Georgia Tech to jump into some of their blitz looks. Playing very conservative defensively right now. Just lining up.
Holston, 2nd straight carry. Not quite as productive as the previous one. Just 2 yards into the arms of Grant Mitchell, the junior from Knoxville, Tennessee.
See a little bit more sense of urgency from Virginia Tech. Trying to play with some pace. Georgia Tech's coming on this play.
2nd and long. This drive started at the Hokie 26-yard line. Holston again. Down to the 22. Couple of yards for Holston.
And Georgia Tech got back into the pressure look up front. More players around the line of scrimmage to stop the run. Willing to play man coverage on the outside. Got an opportunity if you're Josh Jackson for a one-on-one matchup. He's got his top two receivers split to the top of the screen. Is right here. Those are the top two receivers.
Another critical third down situation. Virginia Tech 2 for 2 on third down in this drive.
Nobody in the middle of the field.
Jackson the release and the catch. Kuma inside the 10. Eric Kuma with another big grab on this drive. First and goal, Hokies.
Good read by Jackson. Nobody in the middle field. Zero coverage. That means no safety available. He's just going to take the quick slant right now. Throw it. Kuma inside with nobody to help out.
Toward the end zone, it's Holston. Touchdown, Hokies. Jalen Holston takes it to the end zone.
Wait, Tom, Virginia Tech takes advantage of a mistake again by Georgia Tech. Third and long. Volleyball a ball in the air that Kuma catches, and they take it from there to midfield, shove it in the end zone. The straight downhill, power running, Holston the freshman. Shoves it in the end zone. We got a ball game.
From 8 yards out for Holston. His third rushing touchdown of the season, and Sly has the extra point. Wow, what a football game this afternoon. The end of the third quarter. On to the fourth. Georgia Tech leads Virginia Tech 21-16. Our third quarter stats are brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery. Celebrating 11 years and over $5 billion raised for education. To learn more, visit nclottery.com.
And Tom, they were with Virginia Tech. Look at this is the stat right here. It's the key. Virginia Tech was 1 for 7 on third down prior to that drive, and they were able to find a way to get it done, albeit a miracle one on the first third down conversion.
Jarrett from his 10. Stutter steps at the 20 and up close to the 25-yard line. 16 yards on the return for Jarrett. What an experience this afternoon here at Bobby Dodd Stadium. In the 15th all-time meeting as Marshall gets hit and dropped for no gain by Tim Settle, who has come back into the game.
Now, the two big guys in the middle for Virginia Tech, Walker, these two guys right here in the middle are the guys that create the problem. Walker penetrates to the inside in Parker Braun and then turns Marshall back and settles there waiting on him. Those two big fellas have battled all day long for Bud Foster.
About 635 pounds of interior linemen between Settle and Ricky Walker.
What they've done is they've forced Georgia Tech off schedule now.
Marshall has to dance. Marshall's intercepted. Stroman toward the pylon. Touchdown. Greg Stroman, interception, and the return for the TD.
Well, just a horrible decision by Taquon Marshall here. Throw the ball away. Do not keep the ball in play. His guy had no opportunity. Stroman, one of the best in the business when he catches the football or has the ball in his hands. And insult to injury, then Marshall gets run over at the goal line by a lead blocker, and he's being helped off the field to the sideline. So, wow, I got to throw that football away. Actually had Ricky June open early in the route, gave up on it. And Tech will go, and Virginia Tech will go for 2 here. Try to make it a 3-point game.
Jackson has the football. Looking to throw it in the end zone. Through the progression, lofts it into the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Really well defended there.
Dave, it's Greg Stroman, third interception of the season, but this one is back in the house for the Hokies. Here's a look at our Toyota game summary. For summaries of other ACC games, visit the Toyota Game Center on the ACC.com.
Well, it's not been a clean game offensively by any stretch of the imagination. Both defenses have done some good stuff. Those aren't great numbers for either quarterback. And subsequently, we've got a 22-21 game, anybody's ball game with 7 minutes to go.
Cottrell from the 10, he lost it. Still on the turf. Virginia Tech thinks it has the football. The fight for it continues. We still haven't gotten indication from the officials, Dave.
Yeah, there's never any indication who has the ball.
Georgia Tech now. They've got possession. We saw Cottrell have trouble with it. What a heart-thumping moment for the crowd here at Bobby Dodd Stadium.
He took his eyes off the ball, comes over, goes right through the wickets, and now it's a scramble for the oblong spheroid. That's why they shaped it that way. Did you know that, Tom? So there's a lot of scrambles for the ball.
Thank you for the physics lesson, Dave. Appreciate that.
Well, we're here at Georgia Tech. I thought maybe we'd do a little.
You know, I think, Dave,
on the ball.
That was the first time Cottrell was back. For the most part, today it was Amari Jarrett who was returning kicks.
Pretty sure he didn't get another opportunity after that.
Right up the middle with Benson. He's driven backwards. Forward progress to the 20. Motua Puaka leads the defensive effort for the Hokies in a 3-yard gain. Dave, keep an eye on that clock as we dip inside of 7 minutes to go in regulation. It's a 1-point game. Virginia Tech leading Georgia Tech 22-21.
Well, and how does Marshall regroup from that? That was a shocking moment for him to turn the ball over. He's going to have to throw the ball at some point in this final 6 minutes for his team to win.
His third interception of the season. He uncorks it down the middle of the field. He's got Ricky June trying to run away from the Hokie D. June looking for the pylon. It's a touchdown, Georgia Tech.
Tom, how does it happen again? Another receiver, Ricky June, their #1 receiver again, gets in behind Virginia Tech's secondary, and it's a race to the pylon. Edmonds and June. Does June get in? And Tom, we're going to take another look at this. Let's see if he extends the football. He touches the pylon with the toe. Remember, got to have the ball, though. The ball. Tom likes touchdown. He's signaling touchdown in the booth up here.
Wow, what a play. 80 yards. Taquon Marshall. That shows you the resilience of that young man, Dave, after throwing the interception.
And Tom, shocking, though, that on 2nd and long, you're able to get in behind Virginia Tech again with the throw.
It's turned into a 31-yard extra point. And it's good. Ricky June going the distance, 80 yards on the play, and we're back after a word from your local ACC station.
How does the young quarterback answer the interception? He finds his big-time receiver and Georgia Tech back on top. Wow.
2 scores in 52 seconds, Dave. McMillan on the return, close to the 25 for the Hokies. 17 yards on the return, Trayvon McMillan. 28-22. Jackson's pass to Savoy on the edge. Gains the 30 and goes out of bounds at the 31 as he got 5.
I've seen that play, Tom. It's something they like to feature in there. It's the quick screen to the outside to Savoy. Really good blocking in the slot right there by the senior Cam Phillips. Another part of what he does so well, blocking on the perimeter.
Virginia Tech has won 3 in a row here at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Also winning back in 2015, 23-21 in another close game against Georgia Tech.
Probably seen a number of players limp to the sideline. One of them was McMillan, the running back. We have not seen him back, and the freshman Holston has played extremely well in his stead.
Don't forget the Victory Formation postgame show on the ACC.com. Following our game this afternoon from Atlanta on the ACC Network and Raycom Sports. Katie, Stan, Tommy.
Gotta find Jackson in the run game.
Phillips, 35 and forced out of bounds. Needed to get to the 36. Might be a little short as Griffin bounced them out.
Boy, got a good block from Cunningham, but good job by Georgia Tech to rally to the football. And they gave him the first down. Wow, that was very close. Very close.
After review, it was determined the ball carrier went out of bounds at the 35.5-yard line, half a yard short of the line of the game. It would be 4th down, and clock will start on my signal.
Eagle-eye Dave Archer right on top of it. So was Paul Johnson.
And Virginia Tech going to go ahead and try to go for it here. Now Holston is a big back. He's 220 pounds. Lined up just to the left, the sidecar left of Josh Jackson. Jackson is a 220-pound quarterback.
0 for 1 and fourth down conversions in this game for Virginia Tech.
Well, for Georgia Tech, you got to stay disciplined and not come off the ball.
Inside of 5 minutes to go in regulation. Jackson, he's got enough. First down, Hokies, 3-yard run, Jackson.
Going to step the right guard around right here. Going to step around, get in behind. Wrong side, the right guard. My bad. Right guard steps around, gets in front of Josh Jackson.
Quick pass on first down. Savoy lost his footing at the 39. DJ.
I like the fourth down call there, guys. I mean, if you give him a chance to punt it, you may not get it back again. And one thing to remember is the last two balls that Josh Jackson has thrown, the one that on the third down was behind Cam Phillips, was forced him to turn around, and that one was low. He got to get these guys a chance to run the football in space.
Yeah, they slowed him down a tad. That was all they needed to get the stop.
Complete, 44-yard line. Eric Kuma.
Tom Kuma's come up with some big catches. A couple have been tipped. 5 grabs now for Kuma today. He came in with 13 on the year. So Eric Kuma has come up big today so far for Virginia Tech.
62 yards on those catches for Kuma. That's a career high. 3rd and 4. Jackson takes a look. Now he takes off. Spinning towards the 45-yard line. Going to be short of that first down by 3 yards as A.J. Gray was there to greet him. Also Desmond Branch.
Well, if there's any question, Justin Fuente now will go again on 4th down. Now, last time they went 3 by 1, they got a one-on-one matchup on the backside with Kuma.
Four receivers to choose from for Jackson. He'll go down that far sideline. The catch is made near the 40, Eric Kuma. They mark him out at the 41.
It's a good throw, but Kuma gets away with a push-off. He pushed off on the corner. Take a look at this now. Watch him extend the hands here. There's the push-off, created the separation. Really good throw by Josh Jackson on the backside, on the back shoulder throw. But the big receiver got away with one right there.
5 receivers in this formation for Virginia Tech.
Georgia Tech showing zone coverage now. Josh Jackson should have time. Jackson up the middle.
Helicoptered at the 35-yard line and dropped down after a 7-yard gain.
Good job by Josh Jackson. Didn't like what he saw. Get what you can. There's a lot of time left in the game. 2 minutes plus. Took a big hit at the back end, though.
McMillan. Watch that game clock now, Dave Archer. 1:40 and counting.
3rd down now. Justin Fuente will have to worry more about getting a first down here than maybe advancing the ball down the field. So that'll be the first concern, getting himself another set of downs. Virginia Tech has all 3 timeouts left inside a minute 20.
4 of 14 on 3rd down. 3rd and short for the Hokies. They faked it to McMillan. The pass, that's Kuma with the one-handed attempt. And that's Austin back there defending.
Those 2 guys jawing at each other. It's been a good matchup for Austin today. And Kuma's had a heck of a day, Tom. He talked about 6 grabs, his career high. What a big day.
4th down for the Hokies. Trying to keep this drive alive and their hopes of victory. They're going to throw it deep. Phillips is in the end zone. Knocked away. Incomplete. Johnny Kerr back there with Phillips. And Ted
freshman go against the all-time leading receiver in Hokie history, Cam Phillips, on 4th and short. It's one-on-one. Georgia Tech crowding the line of scrimmage to take away the run. Josh Jackson puts his big timer up the bat, and how about the redshirt freshman finds a way to get his left hand on the ball and knock it away from Cam Phillips. Well, you talk about a moment. Powder Springs, Georgia, McEachern High School. What a play by Kerr.
Georgia Tech limiting Cam Phillips to just 2 catches today. And Justin Fuente, Dave, on 3rd and short and 4th and short, throwing the football on both occasions.
Down the field. They knew they had man coverage. Little surprise they didn't try on one of those 2 downs to extend the drive. Been able to try to hit it ahead. You remember they had the conversion around midfield with Josh Jackson keeping for a first down on 4th down.
First and 10 for the Yellow Jackets, just 1:03 to go. That's Marshall making sure he stays in bounds. Virginia Tech has 2 timeouts with which to work. 2 for 2 for Marshall, and both of them went to the end zone. Now Virginia Tech is down to just 1 timeout. 57 seconds to go.
Yeah, the key here for Georgia Tech is take care of the ball. Virginia Tech will be tearing at it.
Marshall's got a first down. Should Virginia Tech win this game, Dave, and it appears they are well on their way, they would go to 5-0 at home this year, win their 5th game of the season, and be a game away from bowl eligibility.
Well, heck of a performance. And think about the ghost now if you're Georgia Tech. You had lost 3 games, as you pointed out, Tom, in the final minute 22 of a game. You've lost 2 by 1 point. You had a 2-score game in this one that went away on the interception, but they didn't let that haunt them. They came back and found a way to win the football game after they dropped some very similarly during the year.
Fittingly, Taquon Marshall takes a knee. 2 touchdown runs, 2 touchdown passes. Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech will win this game against Virginia Tech 28-22, Dave, as the final seconds tick off the clock at Bobby Dodd Stadium.
We couldn't ask for a funner performance, or more, to have fun watching a football game, watching both sides of the ball make plays, special teams. Heck of a Saturday afternoon here in Atlanta.
TD passes of 60 and 80 yards by Marshall, and a couple of short TD runs, and Georgia Tech improves to 5-4. Virginia Tech with a road loss goes to 7-3 and 3-3 in conference play, 2-2 away from Blacksburg, Virginia. Let's check in with DJ.
Coach, you've had some of these before. You're finally on the other side of it. How does it feel to get a big win, especially when it comes down to the last 2 minutes?
Well, it's great. I tell you, we tried to screw up on a 2-point conversion, but the defense did a nice job finally stopping on 4th down play down there.
Talk about the confidence you had in Taquon. He throws the interception, obviously a bad decision, but you come back and throw the bomb to him. The confidence you had in him to come back and be able to do that.
Well, we talked about that play at halftime. I thought it was going to be open. It was now or never. We needed one. We were having trouble running the ball.
All right, Coach, 5-0. How's it feel to be 5-0 at home?
Well, it's good. We've got one more big one here at home.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Fellas.
Dave, how about that relief on the face of Paul Johnson after the win?
Yeah, and I think it's a relief across the program, because this is a team, really, Tom, that could be sitting here. They could be 8-1 right now, and it just has not gone their way. They found a way to win one against a divisional rival, a team they've had some battles with through the years.
Georgia Tech can celebrate tonight. They beat Virginia Tech 28-22. For highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, visit theACC.com. Coming up next to the ACC.com, our studio crew, Katie, Tommy, Stan. More analysis of today's ACC action on our post-game show, Victory Formation, on the ACC.com. Next week, one of 2 games as Clemson faces the Citadel. Virginia Tech hosts Pitt. You've been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football on the ACC Network. It's an exclusive production of